Yeah, and you talk about that coil binding setup. It uses and literally can abuse the tires if you're not careful. So the conventional springs are a lot easier on the tires, and that's, as you were saying, Andy, we'll see that come into effect after they get 15 or 20 laps on it.
Now that lead pack under power heading down towards turn 1. You saw Kevin LePage's car off the pace on the apron.
That one's spun in 4.
Do have one spun, and wow, big crash. Jennifer Jo Cobb in the 27 and Johnny Chapman in the 43.
Fire. Can I get out yet?
Yeah.
Caution flag for the first time. You see Chapman has dropped his window net, and that was Jennifer Jo you heard talking on her radio, now dropping her window net. And so the first crash comes 6 laps into the race up in turn 4, pretty well back in the pack.
Yeah, this crash happened actually kind of detached from the group a good ways back.
I think the look we're going to see of this is picked up in progress already.
Just looking at this, it might be a situation that the 27 spun and then was hit in the rear.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Right there, you can see just catches Chapman up there. He's trying to avoid this spin.
It looked like the 27 maybe hung the left front down on the apron, caused it to get loose and shot up in front of Johnny Chapman.
That flash fire went out as they stop here. Pretty significant fire.
Wow.
And that was kind of right there pushing it in her window.
Yeah.
Jennifer Jo Cobb making her Nationwide Series debut here at Daytona. It will be a memorable one, but not for the kind of memories she was hoping to make. Chapman out of his car, and you see the safety workers there talking to Cobb at her car in turn 4. Caution for the first time, 6 laps in here at Daytona. The Subway Jalapeno 250, powered by Coca-Cola from Daytona. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Check out that sky.
Pretty ominous looking, but pretty.
We'll hope that all the weather stays away from the Speedway. Right now under caution for the first time after a 2-car crash up in turns 3 and 4. Both Jennifer Jo Cobb and Johnny Chapman out of their cars and have gone to the care center for their examination. Dave, what do you have?
Alan, as you know, Parker Kligerman qualified the 26 car on the outside of the front row. Had some interesting thoughts after that first run. Listen to the nerve of that 19-year-old.
Wow, that had to be the most insane thing I've ever been a part of. The 3 and the 18 were just being idiots, so I was trying to back off them, and sure enough, they almost wrecked us all right there. I had to back out of it just ran back of me.
Idiots, huh? Well, the 3 and the 18 may go and win this race, too, so Parker may want to work with them rather than be angry with them as the night goes on. Alan?
If Parker stays around long enough, he'll realize that that's the kind of things that are going to happen at Daytona and Talladega all the time.
I had a spotter one time, was a spot for one of my drivers. He said, the driver said something about everybody's acting like idiots. He said, hey, you're all idiots. Just keep pedaling.
If you're with us for our coverage of qualifying earlier today, you saw Reed Sorensen in his backup car really throwing some sparks out behind that machine. He was just on pit road a minute or so ago to have some adjustments made to try and remedy that situation.
Yeah, after qualifying, they went back and made some adjustments and had to start back in the rear. But you can see right here, they're trying to make some adjustments to keep this car off the ground because this is a backup car. They had limited practice with it. And everything being so new, it's really hard to predict where to set this thing and just, without a lot of laps on it.
Tim Brewer in the Craftsman Tech Garage. What were they doing?
Tell you what they're trying to do, Alan, they're trying to raise the car up on the right front because on the right side here, this is the trailing arm cross member that sits in the center of the car, and it's probably dragging right here in this area. But what this controls is a trailing arm that controls back here at the rear wheel. But the exhaust pipes comes out on this side also, but these areas right here, along with a K member up front, if it's hitting, when it bottoms out, it literally lifts that tire off the ground, and it's very unstable for the guys driving the car.
You kind of want those tires on the ground as best you can have them at 190 miles an hour?
As possible.
I would think so. So Sorensen back out after adjustments to his car, and we continue the cleanup from the first caution here at Daytona. as you see some of the safety workers continuing down there inside turn number 4 to remove those cars and clean up any of the debris. Yeah, I was just thinking, those 2 cars that crashed, that was both the Baker Curb Racing Team's cars. First next generation race, and both your race cars 6 laps in. That hurts.
Yeah, that does hurt when you get both of them in one wreck.
You know, I know, DJ, you talked about this a little bit at the top of NASCAR Countdown a minute ago, but just the thrill of coming here to Daytona. Every time you walk in the gates, it's an amazing place to me.
Yeah, it makes no difference what type of race it is, whether, you know, when I was here, whether it was the 500, the 400, nationwide race, IROC race, yeah, anytime that you could race, just a very, very special place.
Got a lap to go before the green. Want to try our in-race reporter?
Hey, Kevin, Dale Jarrett, you have a copy? All right, I tried to come up with a good question for you here. How was the start of it? I know a lot of anticipation about what may happen with these cars. How was it?
Start was great. You know, everybody's dancing around a little bit less than I thought they would, actually, but looks like, you know, it's going to be a fun night. It looks like the track's got a little more grip, but the cars are still going to move around. So, great start for everybody.
Okay, man, go back at it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, one thing that's really played into their hands and in their favor is that we've had a cool day, and the track hasn't got a lot of temperature in it to start with, so it does have a little more grip.
Any grip that you find out here, I promise you, makes a huge difference, because this racetrack is just so worn. So anything that can help makes you feel, yeah, almost like you're Superman, you know, that the cars are really good then.
Verizon Wireless customers, text CHAMPION to 43776 for exclusive Champion Chats content from our NASCAR Now Roundtable experts. I think this week's is on Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, little momentum we've seen from Team 48, and which one our panel thinks is going to have the most wins and the most bonus points come chase time.
That's a good question.
They had pretty good answers.
Yeah.
Jennifer Jo Cobb treated and released from the Infield Care Center. Good news there. All right, so we had the first pole with the next generation race car. Went to Brad Keselowski. He led the first lap. First lead change. Actually, Dale Jr.
Has yet to happen at the start finish.
That's right. And now we're going to have the first restart. Enough of the first until we see who the first winner is. Okay. I was getting that look from Andy like, okay.
Yeah. I like for Brad to keep leading for a while, though, because he's got Dale Jr. on his bumper right here. And I know Harvick's car's good, but I think, as we've heard him say it, that's going to pay off for him later on.
Dodge, Chevy, Ford, Toyota in the first 5 spots. And here we go.
Oh, it looks like Junior got into the back of Keselowski a little bit there on the go. These cars really accelerate a lot faster than they used to here, because they've got about 150 almost more horsepower.
That's going to hurt Brad right here, because Carl Edwards is on Kevin Harvick's bumper and pushes him out front right now. Here comes Junior. Brad's got help coming.
Johnny Chapman treated and released from the Infield Medical Center. Bump. Here they go.
Looks like we may have our second leader.
Harvick cuts low in front of Keselowski. Carl Edwards to his outside. Edwards got Boyer behind him in the 21.
And dancing around there on the bottom.
Yeah, that's really rough down there. It's where you want to be, but it's extremely rough. You got to have it pointed in the right direction.
Really interested to watch how some of these drivers, like you saw Keselowski there, he bumped Harvick on the short chute, but he backed off him going into the tri-oval.
And you had another first. Kevin First Chevrolet to lead a lap.
Very nice. Dr. Jerry Punch is with Jennifer Jo Cobb.
Yeah, you mentioned she's okay out of the hospital after being checked out. Jennifer, what happened?
You know, that's the first time in our ill-fated trip down here, this new Ford Mustang, that we've had anybody behind us. And there's so many of us back there just trying to be safe. and I, was making just real clean, safe passes, and that's the first time another car had been on our bumper all weekend, and the rear end just did not hold. I mean, he did nothing wrong. I hate it for Johnny Chapman, and I hate it for our team because they work so hard. This is definitely going to take a financial hit for us. We may not be back. We may have to retract that 3-race deal with Baker Curb because this actually is going to hurt us in that department. But we'll see y'all next week in Chicagoland with the number 13 driven male and the Iowa, our Camping World Truck Series. That's going well, so we're going to focus there for a while.
Tough night for Jennifer Jo Cobb, baby.